Hello, this is Licata Live. Keith and Carrie Neeley. We have a special guest with us today, Nadine Daniel with Lake of the Woods.
And a special topic to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Our Honor Awards Committee, and Nadine is one of our current members. Keith and I have both served on the committee in the past, and it's a great committee to be on. Let me just put a plug in for that because it's the committee of happy.
Yes.
So
and we're very fortunate. Thank you for inviting us to your home.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely beautiful place.
Yes.
It is a beautiful home. So
amazing.
So Nadine, you know, this is a beautiful, beautiful home. So.
You know, Nadine, you know. So Nadine, we always start with the people that we interview. Sure. How did you come to be at Lake of the Woods? We love hearing the story about how people get here.
Yeah, actually, I like hearing the stories too from different people. It's interesting how some make connections and they actually knew each other in other places when they came here. John and I, my husband and I, actually didn't know anyone who lived here. But in D.C., I met this lovely lady. She actually lives in the lake now, Doris Thomas, and we golfed together. Nice. I was just learning how to golf in D.C., and she already knew because her her sister was the wife of a golfer, Lee Elder.
Oh, yeah.
And Keith was very familiar when I
shared
that.
He's a professional golfer, yeah.
Exactly.
He was great. Yeah.
And so the more we golfed together, she knew that John and I were a few years away from retirement. And I told her we were traveling, looking at all these different places, and we were getting ready to go to Florida and places. And she said, well, you should try out Lake of the Woods. I said, where's that? You know, and she said, it's really, really close. It's only a couple of miles of that. South, and it's a small community, but it's a lovely community, and you'll love the people. And then she went into the story.
She's worked with us.
But then they did you guys get to her. But she told me about her sister having a golf tournament here. Her husband was able to somehow, her sister Rose Lee Elder, well, it's Rose Elder now, they were able to come here and put on a tournament here as PJ sponsored here in this small community.
So what year-ish was
you
that?
would ask me. It was
mid-70s,
70s.
Right? Yeah.
It was our 70s.
Mid-70s, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, and Gerald Ford was actually the sitting president.
Oh, wow.
And he came with Flip Wilson and some other celebrities, and they actually found housing here. They rented houses for people, but the more she talked about it, I said, this sounds like an interesting place to visit. So John and I did come down once with her, and we rode around. We were by ourselves. We were just one Sunday. We weren't quite sure. We were just looking.
We've heard that story before.
Yeah, but when we went back home, John came up with the idea. He said, well, listen, why don't we practice retirement? He said, if you like it enough, if we find someone there, maybe we can get a weekend place. And that's what we did. We actually came down, looked around, and we found a place. We were on Sandtrap Lane.
Oh, yeah.
And we found a place there. Actually stayed 2 years. And still looking, though, going around looking for retirement places. And then it just hit us one day. This is a nice place.
Right.
And the people, we kept meeting people. It's the people here that hooked us.
Yeah.
I always say it's like that. I can never think of the movie, but I always equate it to the one with Don Amici where people jumped into a lake and they got young again.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get that. But that we'll think about it before it's over. But it reminded me of that community. And each time we came, we met more people and more. And
can I ask how you met them? Like, where would you meet them?
Well, I'm pretty outgoing, so I'd like to, explore. So we don't stay in as homebodies.
Right.
We actually took advantage of what was here. We started golfing. We went out to the restaurant, the clubhouse, which we liked, Fairways.
Yep.
Then people would come up to us and they would mention committees, and they would invite me just to sit in on those. But they would always have nice social gatherings too.
Yeah.
And so I met a lot of people that way, the cookouts, little parties.
It's hard not to meet people, right?
It's hard not to.
Right.
If you don't meet people, it's your fault.
Right.
I mean, because they're so open and they're giving. And then the more I lived here and got involved with the committees, I said, my God, who could be bored here?
Right.
Because not only are there just the sanction committees by, the committee, the board, or the covenant, but all the clubs.
Right.
I mean, what are there, like 100 clubs?
Right.
I
If you have an
know.
interest in anything,
And
there's a
if
club
you
for
don't
it.
see one, you can create your own.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
We always say, what's going on the cruise ship
Oh my!
tonight?
I love that. This is a cruise ship. With this weather we're having.
Right.
But that's pretty the
Yeah.
gist of it, and we're hooked.
Same.
And we tell people about it no matter where we go about this community, and they always say the same thing. I've never heard of it.
Right, I
And
know.
Give her
say-
some
and I-
business cards.
But I did finally tell somebody. Said maybe we should stop telling people.
I know.
Keep it our little
Yeah, I mean,
secret.
No, but we wouldn't want to deprive anyone of this. But anyway, that's the background.
Nice.
And so this is one of 5 committees. This is actually my most recent committee that I've been on since I moved here. And I must admit, this is only my 2nd year, and I met you,
Right.
which was fun because I meet new people
Yes.
every time I join a committee. But to me, this is the most gratifying, the Lake of the Woods Honors Awards Committee,
Right.
because it's about all these people that I've just told you about that
Right.
do remarkable things here without a blink of an eye. I mean, I've met people, and you can have, this is an exaggeration kind of, but you can have a toothache and someone will bring you a casserole.
Right.
But they will call you, but they're sincere, and
Right.
they will send cards. They'll make sure you're okay. If you're away on vacation,
Yeah.
if you have the paper delivered, that's taken in.
Mhm.
Everyone wants you to keep your cats. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, it's
Aw.
just
We do a lot of
So
trips with
giving.
people. We'll rent buses and vans and do the winery tours and all that. So yeah, it's just it's whatever.
It
you
is an
want to do.
amazing
Yeah.
community. You're right, and people come together, and I think, and we're not only a retirement community, but we're also a retirement community.
that's
so
so true.
a lot of folks
Right, we're definitely not a
here,
retirement community though, because there's young families and all
Right.
that here. But
Which I think
there's plenty
makes
of
it
retired folks
wonderful.
here.
It
Yeah.
does make it wonderful, and one thing that really solidifies that, if you get caught behind a school bus,
Yes,
Right.
you'll
you
know
know,
it's not
and
a
you're trying to
retirement
get
community.
somewhere.
You'll
It's
know.
like, oh my God, the kids are coming home. I forgot their schedule.
Yeah, or go to the point for Halloween, and you
Oh,
were
that's
reminded
fun
it's not a
too.
Yeah,
retirement
yeah.
community.
Which
It's
makes it
only-
healthy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely.
So the honors committee, they do what and when do they do it?
Well, that's a great question. And I just happen to have my little Thrifty, this wonderful
Oh, great.
publication
We just
have.
got that.
Yeah, in the recent May 18th edition, I wanted to say that in Lake Currents, there's a write-up on it, an excellent write-up that gives you a full understanding and overview of it. But just to say that it's already open, the nominations are open.
Excellent.
What happens is, and let me say, it's the nominations are being accepted from May 15th through July 10th.
Okay.
I know this stuff, and I'm using my cheat sheet because I don't want to get
No,
it wrong.
that's great.
So that people can now, there's a nomination form. You can find it online under the LOA website,
Mhm.
loa.org, under committees, and then you can go down to forms and you can find the application. But there are other ways that one can get that application, which I'll discuss later.
Okay.
So you go on that, get that application, and then there are different categories. So we have about 8 different categories that individuals can nominate folks on, from certificates, award certificates, certificates of award, outstanding community service, all the
Okay.
way to a very top award that we have here. So I don't remember this, forget it. It's the William J. Lodge Award for Excellence.
Okay.
So just as I mentioned, you can nominate someone, a neighbor, just because that person, you can always depend when it snows, he or she,
Right.
usually he, I'm going to say, will shovel your porch, look after your cats.
Neighbors taking care of
Yeah.
neighbors. Mhm.
They will plant the flowers along the openings or the driveways of different people when they can't do it, just to
Mhm.
beautify the community. So little things that you notice that someone does for other
Mhm.
people, just things that we take for granted, but makes your life more pleasurable,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
means a lot. And this is one way that you can recognize your neighbors from that.
That's nice.
There are different awards. I mean, some of them, like the Outstanding Service Award, some of them are a little more elevated. There are people that serve on a lot of committees, and you
Right.
see them all the time on these committees, and you say, this person, every time I know I need something or want to find out something about this lake or the community, I can depend on this person because this person is involved and connected.
Right.
Mhm.
So you get really accustomed to having neighbors that you can depend on to keep you informed if you're not yourself.
Right.
And then like the one that I mentioned, the highest award, that William J. Large Award for Excellence. What's so special about that is it's a person that's not only been or done all of the things maybe I mentioned, but above and beyond, because not only do they help elevate this community by what they do inside, but what they do outside of it. So they do work perhaps representing the committee or the community
right.
in Orange County or other surrounding areas. So what they're doing is they're promoting us. They're letting people know how wonderful we are. But what they find out and what they do outside are external things that better us as a community, because they bring back information to us and they let us know what those resources are available to us.
Right. So this is a way to just to acknowledge, hey, we see what you're doing and we appreciate what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know that when I was serving, sometimes we would get a nomination and folks weren't really sure what category was appropriate for the person they're nominating. So if I remember correctly, they could put several different considerations or options, and then the committee would review that and determine which is the most appropriate for that specific description of that particular individual being nominated, right?
You're absolutely right. And what's really good about that is that some folks actually need to be elevated, and so sometimes when they need to be, that's a good thing, so that we're able to do that. We don't, get involved with who they're doing it or how they do it, but we do know and recognize by the different types of applications that come in that some may be or should be in another category.
Nice. So when you're applying, don't worry so much about that. Just nominate the fellow or person, why they did it, right?
Yeah.
And you guys will take care of it.
Yeah, and definitely don't hold back in nominating because you think, you don't have to get too carried away with it. Just if somebody's doing something great in the community, it may be a community service award would be appropriate, but don't hold back just because you don't know the exact category.
So when somebody is nominated, they're told that they've received an award. When do they get this award? How does that? When do they show up for this?
Yeah, well, they're going to show up. We have that very big annual
it's at the annual meeting.
Yeah, in September. So they will be notified before that, of course, in August, and when that they have been nominated.
But the annual meeting is when they get the
That's
presentation.
when
that's Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
Perfect.
And if they can't attend, we ask them to, designate someone else, a friend or a family member.
It's that Monday morning, I think, right, of Labor Day. So it's over with
morning.
before noon.
Yeah,
so,
and not only do they get a certificate, we have a little reception for them and one other guest before it starts. The people that get it, almost you feel, that's what I tell you, and because you were there, the joy on their face, it's almost like they've really received like an Academy Award or whatever. They dress up, they're beaming. A lot of them, their family come and they go out to brunch and everything. One of the things I do want to mention, though, because we were talking about the children, the youth, we have award for youth, and that's very important because we sometimes don't give them the credit. We look at the negative sometimes, the bikes are different things.
Right.
That's right.
But there are young people here that need to be recognized. They're Boy Scout troops, and they do wonderful things. There were some young individuals last year that were all awarded scholarships.
Quite a few.
Yeah. And they were each able to be recognized.
Nice.
We also, there's a heroic category, someone that does something like one guy, I think, ran into a home that was burning and was able to notify people, and they were not even aware of it. They were sleeping through that.
Wow.
It still gives me goosebumps
Me
to
too.
remember
That's
that
a whole
story.
lot for an award.
Yeah.
A lot to do for an award.
But don't let that stop you again from nominating. That was quite a heroic act for sure.
It really was.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Anything else, Nadine? The main reason that we're reaching out today is just to remind everyone that if you have a special person in our wonderful community full of caring people who has gone above and beyond, and you've been a part of that, witnessed it, we hope that you'll nominate that person so we can recognize them for our honor awards committee. And And I think in addition to the people who get the award, I know the people who are nominating are so happy to be a part of celebrating that person in our community. So it's kind of twofold.
It is twofold, and I just want to say our committee is a wonderful committee. Carolyn Rourke is our chair and president, and she is fantastic, as you know. She's a hard worker. She keeps us together, and everyone on the committee, organized. She is so organized. Everyone on the committee is committed to this, and we get so excited when we see the applications come in. So we're inviting everyone, please get your applications. And again, as I said, let's see. Yeah, they need to be in. I want to be sure I have that exact date because it changes each year.
July 10th.
Yes, July 10th. You have until July 10th to get your application in.
So we got more than a month. Plenty of time.
Yeah, but recognize the person that you see is making a difference in the community. It's the way to recognize them. It's a nice way to do it.
And just a moment to recognize you.
Yes.
You've been on 5 committees.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Recognition. We're going to just recognize Nadine right now. Thank you, Nadine.
Give me my word
for being here and making our community what it is. Because you are 100% right. And Keith and I say this all the time. It's about the people in our community. That's what makes our
the amenities nice and all that, but
it's
the people that make this community what it is.
And I would just like to say I commend you for doing this. I don't hope, I guess it's okay to say the Licatas were honored last year with I believe it was a distinguished community award. And that's the example of, that reminds me something of an organization that does so much for the community. And I do want to say that we do actually have one of those awards. It's a committee service organization group award. So it's not for individuals, but if you belong to a body, an organization
that's doing good stuff.
Yes, that's going. The organization can be recognized, so you can do that, not just an individual, but also an organization.
Sounds good.
Lots of options. Well, thank you again, Nadine, for
you.
being here.
Get up
You're
and
beautiful
flip this
hall.
off.
Thank you.
And Keith's going to say goodbye and